exciting times here. Welcome, everyone. Absolutely delighted to have Nicky and Kristin from the Voyageurs, the Canadian fan group, here to have a chat with Matildas Active Support. So I'm Madge. I'm here in Brisbane along with Fatty, and then we've got Michelle from Matildas Active Support here in Sydney. I'd just like to start off with a quick acknowledgement of country. So we'd just like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today. Here in Brisbane with Fatty and I, we're on land traditionally known as Legion of the Turrbal people and Yuggera people. We have respect to elders past and present and emerging, and we acknowledge their continued connection to land, water, and the culture of this area. So I'd love to just throw over to Nicky and Kristin and introduce yourselves, what brought you to football, and a quick look at Voyageurs.
I'll let Kristin start because she'll give a better history of the Voyageurs, I think, and then I'll introduce myself.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, we should have rehearsed this, Nicky. So hi, I'm Kristin. I'm in Toronto, in Ontario, in Canada. And I've been involved with the Voyageurs for easily a decade, if not a bit longer. And the Voyageurs came about, many years ago. We're on a significant anniversary. It came about just because, well, the men going to the World Cup was a big galvanizing bit of support. But that sort of like brought supporters across the country together and realizing that, hey, we want something unified, we want something to come together. And that plus a need for, it's such a big country, the massive country, right? So a need to have a way to unify that support and have people to be able to talk. And the Voyageurs made sense in sort of a name. We're traveling everywhere, we've got players all over the world, even back then. And it's a part of our identity, whether it's one we want to sort of maybe sometimes walk away from these days. But it's been growing and growing year after year. It started out with literally like 10 guys, a couple in BC, a couple in the Midwest, a couple guys from out east, some people in Ontario. And it grew really, really fast. Message board was built, and the Voyageurs Forum, the infamous Voyageurs Forum. And then it just really snowballed. And Jamie, who is part of our leadership, had been a one-man show for a really long time and keeping us going. And yeah, we just, as the women became more successful, Voyageurs grew, and support in the stands grew. And then obviously now with the men having this unprecedented success, everybody's a Voyageur, but that's okay. We don't turn anybody away. We want them, come support. You know what? If this is what's brought you to Canadian footy, then fantastic. We love you. Please come pack the stands, cheer on all the teams. Yeah. But it has been it's been great to see the interest in all ages. One of our Voyageurs events several months ago brought some really young people to us who didn't really know anything about us and who are now ardent supporters. They come to every match. I'm talking about young Simon. They post, and it's been really, really great to see this across cultures as well, because people in Canada often, they root for their motherland and then they root for Canada, or they don't know enough about Canadians footy. And this is, the success of the women at the Olympics and the success of the men going forward has really opened the eyes for a lot of people. And you're seeing more and more, I used to cheer for blank, but now I'm cheering for Canada. And now I'm a Voyageur. How do I become a Voyageur? How do I join you guys? How do I support? And it's wonderful. It's one of the most amazing things, and it's super fun to be part of.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we've got a very similar experience in Australia. I know Michelle's always cheering for Chile as well as the Matildas. So it's a very similar experience.
I would be cheering for my homeland, except we are very poor. I'm from El Salvador, so my country never makes anything. I'm hoping though maybe one day the women, maybe there might be a chance, or under 20s or something. But
I've been to your home. It's a really neat place. I really enjoyed my time there.
It's getting better. I really want to go, but we can talk about that.
Yeah, totally. Some other time. Sorry. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Start talking about tourists.
So Nikki, what's your history with Canadian football?
So I've been around the Voyageurs for about 10 years, similar to Kristin. So it's funny because, 10 years isn't a short period of time, but for me, I almost feel apologetic because there are people who have been at this so much longer than me. I still feel like the newbie, but, and it's why I'm so like, as people come on, new people, I'm like, I know where you were. It wasn't that long ago. Come on in, be part of this with us. But my story started with, I played soccer or football, as the rest of the world calls it, my entire life as a kid and loved it. But I didn't come from a family that supported, watched football on TV. Not that it was even easy to do in the 80s. It was pretty hard. But just really no cognizance of club football, national team football, any of it, that people played it professionally, didn't know, had no idea. And then leading into the 2011 Women's World Cup, I saw a news story about how Canada had the best women's football player in the world. And I was like, oh, really? What? And so that was my introduction to Christine Sinclair. Embarrassed to say, before then, I had no idea, didn't know. Then watched that World Cup and saw Canada fizzle out dismally in Germany. But I was in. I finally knew. I started, internet was the thing, so you could Google and find out. I found out where Christine Sinclair played her club football, started following, even though you couldn't watch it. So I was literally following those games on Twitter, okay, what's happening now? What's happening now?
Women's football.
Yeah. And then, but then once.
Well, yeah, following W League on Twitter, thanks to
Yeah. And then, but at that time when I started, Googling things more, that's when I also found the Voyageurs, because we had the big rematch game against the USA after the 2012 Olympics. And so I went to that game. That was my first into the Voyageurs. But for the long time, I was in this weird mindset of, I only support the women's game. The men get enough support. They don't need my support. I'm only going to focus on the women's game, which I eventually came to realize was just as bad as the men who say I don't watch the women's game, right? And in Canada, it's been the inverse for a long time, where people really on the national level mostly just supported the women's team. So I broadened my horizons maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Now I support both teams fully and I'm all in, but definitely my roots sort of started with the women's game.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to sort of very quickly, Nikki and I, unbeknownst to us, grew up in a very similar place, the same city, in fact. We may have played soccer against one another. But yeah, I came from a sporty background, but no knowledge of soccer, nothing like that. My dad enrolled me into it because it was inexpensive, and he wanted me to be in a sport in the summer and not at home. And then, yeah, I just went from there. I played up until university and stopped playing then. But sort of different from Nikki's, I was lucky because of where I live. So I moved to Toronto. And Toronto had the U20 World Cup in 2007, which was at the new stadium, old stadium now, here in Toronto. And so that was my first introduction to national teams. And I didn't meet the Voyageurs right away, but a couple of years later, just from going to national team games in Toronto, I was like, oh, who are these people? Because I was meeting soccer supporters for the club who were talking about this Canadian thing. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What? We do this? And then that's why I met Jamie, and I met Squiz and all sorts of people that only 5 of us know. But it snowballed from there. And then, I met Nikki, and this is what we do now, apparently.
I think Matildas Active, we're very young in comparison. So we sort of kicked off maybe before the 2019 World Cup. Probably the 2019 is when, as a traveling group, we sort of really sort of galvanized. We had a big travel Facebook group that just got everyone who was traveling over to France onto, and was able to sort of get the ball rolling there to build our fan community. And now we've got a World Cup coming to home soil. So yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully we do kind of like your experience where you just like rocked up and we're like, oh, these people. I'm kind of hoping that we meet a whole new bunch of young people, or mixed age group really, that want to join and get more active in the support thing. But yeah, we can get your tips and hear your story about how you grew that out, because that's something that we're kind of, I guess, going through right now.
And of course, I mean, one of the reasons we touch base with you right now is because we've got a couple of exciting friendlies coming up next weekend against Canada. They're heading to Australia, playing in Brisbane where we are, and Sydney where Michelle is. So and christening for football, the Drayton Stadium in Sydney where the group game is held.
Michelle's been there already.
Oh, I know. Michelle basically building it. She's part of the construction crew.
I'm going again today after this.
Amazing.
Doing a stadium.
Pictures. You have to send us pictures. We need advanced scouting. What's happening? How cool is that that's right in your backyard?
Oh, it's beautiful. I can't wait. I love it. It's the best stadium in the world.
I love the seat design. We have to send them pictures of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, please do.
I literally decided to go to the Sydney match because I wanted to see that stadium before the World Cup. I wanted to be part of its the history moment, and it'll be a nice, impressive stadium for all the fans that come. So there's another reason you've got to come to check out the updated stadium.
Reasonable. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So actually, what we've got like a fun little game to like hang our conversation off of. It's we're not going to use a copyrighted term, but it's going to be a who are you? So I think I'm going to splice in some graphics in post-production magic. But I think everyone's going to understand what the game is. So I assume Nicky and Kristin, you selected a player that we're going to be guessing for. We've selected a player that you guys are going to be guessing for. But I thought maybe we can start with a rock, paper, scissors to see who kicks off the guessing first.
I'm in. Who's going to verse me?
Oh, gods. Okay.
Kristin, ready? Wait.
Yep.
Are we doing 1, 2, 3 show?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 show.
Yeah.
Scissors, paper. Oh.
Okay. Sorry.
All right, I get it. We've got this.
We're good. Okay.
You go, because you're on a lag. You go.
Okay. All right. I'm so confused. I thought we're like doing. This is not going well.
One more time.
Just go. You go first. You're the hosts.
Okay. All right. Let's kick off. But first, I'm going to do my dodgy theme song.
Oh yeah, the theme song.
Thank you. Who are ya? All right.
Who are you?
Who are ya?
Amazing.
And we're done.
Michelle, do you want to start with the first question?
Yeah, go on, Michelle.
Oh. Does this player play in the WSL in England?
Yay, no.
Okay. All right. Knock out.
No, it's knockout.
Good knock out people.
So they don't play in England.
Yeah.
Correct.
So we're taking out.
So we're taking out the ones that play.
I don't know.
No, we're knocking out the England. This has been a while since I've played Who Are Ya? I'm knocking out the ones that do play in England. Because they play in England. Yes. Can you please edit the fact that I've like really slowed it in construction? Hey, it's like 7 a.m. Let's just pretend.
Oh, hey, no. You guys are incredibly alive and awake what time it is where you are. So kudos to you.
So I think we're going to take out Kadisha Buchanan.
Oh, I'm going to take out. Oh, yes. Correct. That is.
Gillian Zadorsky plays for
Tottenham. Yeah.
So actually, let's go back to a quick question. So you hosted the World Cup, the Women's World Cup in 2015.
Yes.
So what was that like? And as a fan group, what do you remember of the time, and what amazing or special things did you do hosting that we can steal ideas from?
From my perspective, there were a few things that stood out. One, just the Edmonton was the opening game of Canada versus China. So that was the first Canada game that I ever had to fly on a plane to go see, because up to then I could always just drive to games in Toronto and whatever. So that was my first sort of traveling Voyageurs experience. But to be in the stands at a home World Cup when they play your national anthem in a section entirely full of fellow supporters, like I knew I was gonna tear up, and of course I did, because I cry easy anyway. But and honestly, I'm thinking about this. I was thinking I might even almost cry just telling you the story again, because it's just such an incredible experience to have that opportunity. But then from a broader hosting perspective, I currently live in Winnipeg, which was a host city. Canada didn't play here, but just to have people from all over the world come, like the Americans played here, so the city was packed, because obviously it's easy to come here from the United States. But even just watching, Australia played here as well, actually. So I got to see Australia in the group stage. Just having all people come from all over and countries, and it's just an experience that you just can't really even imagine you'll get to have until you do. And you're going to get to have that. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah. And the match I traveled to in Ottawa, like seeing everybody like in the streets heading to the stadium and things like that. But what was really interesting, like, yes, I knew people traveled like within the country for matches, right? But I was, I met a ton of people by then. And certain people you recognize, but even still, because it was the World Cup, even more people traveled, and I met people at those matches that I'd never met before at a men's match or a women's match, and I was like, oh, hi, who are you? This is so great. Where did you travel from? Like across the country or from the States, or like, but people, a couple Canadians flew in from overseas for this because World Cup, and they had the opportunity. And some people, again, this was new for them, and it was like, oh wait, a World Cup. And so you got people that came out for it because it was this massive big deal and wanted to get involved. Oh, like, are there parties? Like where are we meeting up? Is there a march? Like all of these things. And people were so engaged and had all these great questions and all this great passion. And you still see a lot of these people to this day. And it's been, it's like 7 years. And they are some of the most engaged people I know now, who come to every Canada match they can, who participate online, and who are just so happy to support and be part of everything. And that was a catalyst for them. And so having that, like, you guys are going to see so much of it. You're going to get so many new faces and so much just happiness, regardless of how you do. You're going to just have, it's just the thing that you will remember, like obviously Canada has difficulty at the World Cup. But even with that, like, I just remember traveling with my friends, meeting up with people, being in the section, leading chants, getting everyone organized, and just meeting a gazillion new people and having so much fun.
And it's sort of adding into that, since you guys are looking for tips on how to, grow this and engage the experience for everyone. As the World Cup was the first time I really started meeting other Voyageurs, like in real life and in person. And that was made easier for me because of some other Voyageurs who really kind of stepped up and took it upon themselves to help make those introductions one of the longtime Voyageurs, like, he had posted on the forum, he's willing to pick anybody up flying in. So like he and his father-in-law picked me up at the airport.
Oh, wow.
Dropping off at my hotel. Then I knew somebody at the pregame, and then at the pregame, like, he took me around and introduced me to everyone. And that's something that really stuck with me. So now when I go to these things, I try to look for the people that are new, and
Yeah.
go talk to them and introduce them and integrate them. So like having people that are outgoing and willing to sort of make those connections really helps make it easier for the new people.
Extroverts. We all need our extroverts.
Yeah, it's very important to have at least one extrovert, very involved. Yeah, no, I hear you. But and then like same thing with social media. I don't know how active you guys are. I'm assuming a lot. But we again, this is yeah, it's the thing is to meet those people as well. Like bring them out and find out. Feel free to let people introduce themselves by Twitter handles or Instagram handles, and then figure out who they actually are. Be like, oh, you're so and so, you're blah blah blah, and then you make all the connections. But it's because that's how most of us met in the old days. We all only knew each other on social media. Yeah. But it's wild. And yeah, if you keep those, you remember those connections. Like there's a couple of people from matches that would send us stuff on Instagram, and I never met them, but I've talked to them lots. I'm like, oh, let us know if you're coming here, we'll buy you drinks. Like, and people remember you. People come up to you and you're like, I know you, I've seen you at matches, or I've seen you on social media for this, thank you, that sort of thing. And people remember. So those connections are massive, and it's great fun. Again, you get to meet all these incredible people.
You've got me pumped, and there's no football on today for me to go and just like
amazing.
I have the under 20 World Cup.
Yeah, I'll watch.
But absolutely, that sounds fantastic, and I think definitely about traveling. So getting traveling fans together is absolutely a catalyst for building community, which I guess is what we're really looking forward to. Even just with the friendly games that we've got here against Canada.
Oh yeah, organized watch parties. That's massive.
Yeah. I love this. Oh,
fantastic. All right. Well, how about you guys throw a question at us?
Okay. Does this player sorry, I'm pulling up the pictures and I'm very blind.
So you take your glasses off?
I'm nearsighted, and this is yeah, I know. But for something like this, does this player have short hair?
No.
No.
So take out all your short hair people.
Well, we do have more than one, so
yeah. So there you go. Narrowing it down.
Indeed. God, I'm so blind.
All right, is it our go or Gas?
Well, so the World Cup, it's, of course, we're not hosting alone here in Australia. We are, of course, co-hosting with our wonderful friends across the ditch, New Zealand.
Yep.
So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to make it down, but I'm sure lots of Canadian fans would. So what do you think the vibe is? Where do you think Canadian fans want to see your group games held, Australia or New Zealand? You can be honest, our feelings won't be hurt.
Honestly, my sense is there isn't I think people are excited about both possibilities, truly.
Yeah.
I've seen people say both. Like, people really think both countries seem pretty intriguing.
And you'll end up in.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone say, "Oh man, I hope we just get to hang out with the Kiwis," or oh, I really want to see the Gold Coast or whatever. Like, I don't think anyone has said anything like that. They're just psyched about it. Period.
I know I've seen some people say they wish that we could have games in both countries because they'd like to go.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
What I love about the Canadian fans is that I know that we don't have to tell you guys that driving from Perth to Sydney is really going to be an option because you come from a country that's even bigger than ours. But we think we might need to give some of the Europeans a bit of a heads up.
I don't know if Australia's like us, but we'll drive a long way here. Like Kristin, you drove to Vancouver, right?
Yeah. I would definitely not be doing Perth to Sydney, but I am thinking about doing Vancouver to Sydney.
That's not much.
Yeah, that's okay. That's only like 10 hours. That's fine.
Oh, so yeah, totally.
I will fly.
Michelle is like, I will do everything I possibly can to not drive.
If there's a game in Canberra, I don't think there's any games in Canberra, but if there was a game in Canberra, I would be happy because then I can drive to that. But if it's more than like a 5-hour drive, I'm flying.
But you can turn it into a road trip, which adds to the whole experience. So for like international, if you're going from Brisbane to Sydney, you can stop at Coffs Harbour, Newcastle.
See the big banana.
See the big
Big banana.
Like,
There's a big banana. Go on.
yeah, big banana.
Yeah.
We have a big apple in Ontario. That's a huge thing. Oh, you stop at the Big Apple. This big
Sounds
apple.
like big-
We've got lots of big things. I think we're going to have to do up a big thing catalog.
We have a big
Australia.
prawn.
We have a big nickel.
We have a big poo. It's not actually a poo, but everyone says it's the big poo.
Which one?
The
I
potato.
don't remember what it is. I just know everyone calls it the big poo.
Can you Google that? Can you find out where that is?
All right.
Goodness me.
I think it's our turn to throw a
Our
question back.
turn. All right. Let's go with. We asked, do they play in the NWSL?
No, WSL.
Oh, I always get confused with
So we've knocked out all the WSL.
All right. Do I play in? Do I play in the US?
No.
Oh, yeah. Righto.
Oh, okay. Let's narrowing it down.
Okay.
So getting there. Well, that's a lot of the Canadian stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right. Oh, we're getting there.
Leave it with me.
Quite ready to make a guess here. And like you got questions for us.
Yeah, Nikki, do you?
Do I trying to think of a one that can really help narrow it down, but I don't want to get too crazy. Do I currently play in the NWSL?
Yes.
No.
No.
They're guessing for the one that we picked for them.
I'm getting confused again. WSL, NWSL. America, NWSL. All right. So no.
No, you don't play in the NWSL.
Don't play in America. Okay, so
Oh, I forgot. That's not. I reckon.
she plays. Where does she play? Oh, damn it! Where does she play?
We can answer for you.
No.
While you're thinking of your next question, I was just curious. What's one of your most famous like Voyager chants? Like, what's the big one? What's this?
Is it Canada?
Like the
It might. It's very simple, as most good chants are. It's literally ooh ah Canada, say ooh ah Canada.
Ah, yes. Ooh,
Canada, say ooh ah Canada.
No, I write that. I write that.
It carries very easily. You know, there's a clap involved. Kids like it, which is huge. And the more beer that other people consume, the more they get into the ooh ah part. Like that's somehow that becomes the emphasis. It's hilarious.
That's such a
Yeah. The ooh ahs are the best.
Yeah, the ooh ah is a very important part.
Not
Harry,
many people really can't follow along with that. So
Yeah. Well, there's really only like 5 chants in the entire world. We all just change the words, right?
Exactly.
We do have one.
We're trying to phase out
But
the Aussie oi oi oi.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to get rid of it because
it's tough.
It's
It's tough.
really.
Yeah.
I will never forget Townsville.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Well, no, that's the thing. Aussie fans started, but the problem with it is that it doesn't keep going. Whereas that one's perfect because you just repeat it over and over again. But Aussie, oi, oi, oi. It's usually just done one and done, and then quiet. So we've got to change our culture and get everyone in.
We're going to
and
educate.
And Michelle's, of course, our one of our capos. So
Awesome.
on the megaphone, getting the crowd revved up.
Sweet.
I will be there with you down in Sydney to bring it.
Yeah, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, like do you guys have drums?
Yeah, we used to do drums and megaphone and then just yelling really loud.
Oh yeah. Are you allowed to have smoke or flares or anything?
No.
You're not allowed.
Michelle's like, allowed?
You can sneak it in. Do that. But we don't bring them in.
No.
We have to. It can sometimes be done, but it has to be very regulated. And organised with the stadium.
Yes.
Right. Oh, like same with us. Like we have to arrange it, but and it's easier to do in marches or in pre-games than to have it in the stadium because there's so many rules with FIFA and then whoever owns the stadium. Usually it's FIFA. Like that's usually for a lot of things we want to do. FIFA comes down and they're like, no fun. You may not have fun, but provide the best atmosphere ever. Thank you. But no fun.
No pyro, no pie.
We can definitely.
I don't know. I don't even know where to get one. So
You get flares? Leave it to me.
I know.
Christmas smoke. We can do some smoke.
Michelle's like, I'll hook you up.
Of course. Anyway, wait. Well,
Is it our question now? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That you guys were getting some thinking time. You had to ask us.
No, isn't it your turn to ask?
Remember, I was like, oh, well.
No, I think they were trying to figure out who.
Yeah, I think I'm.
Yeah. I was just writing down names because I can't remember who plays where suddenly.
All right.
All right. Let's. So we think it's.
No.
What we're
Because-
down to. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're down to a couple there. That could be.
Maybe go.
Oh, yeah. It could be. Am I? Let's keep it simple. Am I wearing yellow and gold?
You wearing in the photos?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, we got.
That should have been a big clue right there. I don't know if it is or not. I have no idea.
Nah, it is.
We're gonna get it.
Well, we're down to like.
We're gonna
I
get
think
it.
we're down to a few.
Yeah.
All right, I have a question. Am I a current Champions League winner?
Current.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Damn it! Damn it! Okay, we gotta go. We gotta.
Take a guess, guys.
There's a couple
more
there.
than one. Isn't there?
Oh, I know, but
Fellas, take a guess. Take a guess.
Yeah, do you want to take a guess?
hold on. I'm just I'm conferring with my my colleague here. One
Wait,
second.
let me message you guys.
Yeah, you message us, Michelle. I reckon. Yeah, I reckon.
I think they've got theirs.
Yeah.
And then,
So it's about who gets it.
yeah. So we're
I
going to
messaged
take
you
a
on
guess.
Twitter.
Wait. Michelle's sending us some insight.
Oh,
That was one of the options, but.
What are you reckoning the other one?
The other one.
the other one. Oh, well, we could ask the same question.
Did we just send each other the same message? We did. That's Nikki. That's what I think. But could it be? Hold on.
I'm actually feeling quite like I want to win this.
Oh, no, suddenly I'm feeling very competitive. I'm like, wait a second.
Just come out.
No, it's not her. So,
Yeah. All right. We're gonna have a guess.
okay, go for it.
Is it are you? Are we? Are you?
So it's our
Yeah.
player.
Are you Ellie Carpenter?
Yes. Are you Kadisha Buchanan? Yay!
Champions League co-winners.
Well done,
And
everyone.
actually, I think Khadija came on in the Champions League final for Ellie when she went off with her injury, which terrified us, by the way.
I was
But-
there.
Oh, of course.
I was at that match, and I
What?
Yeah. I went to Turin and watched the final, and it was insane. And I was actually behind the goal where Leon scored those two belters. So who was it? Henri, and then the second one was from oh my gosh, blanking.
Oh, geez, I can't remember.
It was Hedberg. Maybe it was Hedberg and Henri. And the third goal was the American girl that can never pronounce her last name. Marciano, is her name? Marciano. Oh, now just embarrassed.
Macario, is that it?
Macario.
Yeah.
It was packed with Barcelona fans, and it was just, it was a great experience to be out with.
Betty's had quite the few months away. You were at the Euros.
I went to the Euros too. Went and saw.
Oh my God, that's amazing! I'm so jealous.
I saw England versus Austria at Old Trafford, the opening match, which was pretty special because it's Old Trafford and 70,000, and they got the win. And then I saw the historic 8-0 drubbing of Norway, which is just insane. So
Crazy.
What incredible experiences to have. I'm so happy for you. Like, that's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. You know what? It felt like to me, like a little pre-test, a little taste of what the World Cup's going to be like. And I was, taking note of the fan culture in England and how that's also developing, because they're also quite new to their fan groups and their active support. But what really worked for them was playing Sweet Caroline at any point in time. Everyone will belt it out, and I loved it.
It was the most random thing. I'm like, why is this happening in Europe?
Well, it happened in the men's Euros.
I know.
Played on pre-match, and then it's just the song now, and it's really cool though, because at least everyone gets into it. No one holds back.
Yeah.
So I really like that about it.
Well, now the game's over. Let's just get rolling through some questions. So we've got the draw for the World Cup coming up, and you guys, of course, Canada have already qualified, so we've still got to finish all the qualifications, so we don't quite have the full set of teams yet. But so I think Canada at the moment, based on the rankings, are probably going to be in the second pot. So Australia, you could draw Australia.
Yeah.
Who are you wanting to avoid or wanting to play against?
Two countries I absolutely do not want to see us draw in the group stage: the Netherlands and New Zealand, because we've drawn them the last two World Cups in the group stage. I'm just so done and bored with that.
Exactly. No, it's yes, every time. It's like, why?
That's just New Zealand, you're boring.
No, it's just can we not anymore? Please, come on now.
Yeah, we've moved on for the need of New Zealand.
Like,
but I mean, there is more. So you'll get some on you because we've got 32 teams now. Yeah. So that's that's exciting.
Is amazing.
Absolutely, and some brand new countries to it. I think it's going to add, another flavor to the whole experience. And I think we're kind of the same. Didn't we say we wanted to avoid?
It's like playing against. We always get drawn against Brazil, but which is kind of fun. But yeah, similar. It's like, it'd be nice to get someone a little bit different.
Yeah.
Mix it up a little bit. So,
but for the the game day experience, to have countries like Brazil, actually Netherlands. I went and talking about Euros. I did their march with them, and that was one of my highlights.
That's what I want to do. I want to be when they're jumping up and down, jumping to the side. That's what I want to do.
Don't know what they're saying. All I know, jump left, jump right.
Yeah.
Here in the group that was here in Winnipeg with Australia, they also had Nigeria, and we have lots of Nigerians living in Canada. Maybe some travel to Nigeria, I'm not sure, but there was like this section where they had like the music and the band, and they were just like, it was so fun.
Yeah.
When countries come into your stadiums and with that kind of culture, and it's just
and that enthusiasm, for sure. Yeah, I would love to see us draw against someone from, like the Africa Cup of Nations. Like that would be great. We play enough CONCACAF teams. Yeah, nothing against our own region, but dear gods, I don't want to play them anymore. No more. So I think that would be great. I would love to play someone, have someone drawn in from Africa or even South America, like just something different, and that's not the Netherlands or New Zealand.
No offense, Netherlands and New Zealand, you're lovely.
No. Fine. Yes. Yeah. And for other reasons, competitive full offense. Michelle's like, all offense. Stupid Kiwis.
Beautiful country.
Yeah.
But when it's football terms, nah, enemies.
Nah, totally get that. Well, but it like you guys, so like, we hosted a World Cup and it was amazing, and got to people travel across Canada. But you mentioned like the 32 teams, like you guys get like a World Cup. Like I am jealous of you for that, because you get to have this momentous first proper, but like you just get to have a World Cup, like with all the trappings, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's nice being able to get like more things, even from Asia, like huge Vietnamese community in Australia as well. So I hope to see the same thing as you described with the Nigeria team playing in Canada. So
and the South America, they've got more spots. So seeing that Argentinians, because when we
had
a friendly tournament at Suncorp, that was like the last Suncorp game, and there were just these Argentinian fans, and they were having a great old time. And I'm full keen to just meet people like you guys were talking about, and that's the best thing. One of the best things about the women's game is it doesn't matter which country or what team you support, we always just have a good time together, and there's no like safety concerns, or there's no aggression. It's just like good banter, good fun, beer. And actually, for those that watch, you can have a beer at your seat in an Australian match, because at the Euros in England, you couldn't drink beer at your seat because of all their.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
That doesn't become a feature thing, though.
No, because it's
because we could, right? Yeah.
We could, yeah.
At the World Cup, it was just that they didn't have a beer sponsor. Do you remember that? There's no beer sponsors at the French World Cup, which is horrific.
Yeah.
They should have had a wine sponsor.
I'd be fine. But you'd have to ban Chardonnay. No, there would be riots.
Will they have a beer sponsor for this Women's World Cup?
Yes. Yeah, we got told that there will be.
If it's BB, I'm rioting.
Hey, it's not going to be BB.
Surely. Absolute fast.
No, it's bottom of the barrel beer. But we don't drink Foster's, so
no.
Yeah, we definitely don't drink Foster's.
You don't? Are you sure? Every mean commercial tells me you do.
No, I've never even seen one in a store.
But I saw it on taps everywhere in England. I'm like, that you don't even drink that.
Yeah.
Is it like?
Oh, it's incredible! It's incredible how stuff like that spreads, right? Like, it's like, do you know?
I'm trying to think of
anything.
Anything I can think of Newstead.
Isn't that Coors? Don't you have a beer called Coors?
Is that America?
That's American.
That's America.
That's American.
Wow, absolute baboon over here.
That's it. I think we get an extra point in the game for that somehow. I don't know.
Do you guys have like maple syrup flavored beers?
Maple syrup.
There probably is. There's probably a craft beer with
like a stout or something, or a porter that has maple syrup. Although I've never had one, and I love both maple syrup and stouts. So,
have to go hunting.
Yeah, I guess. I live in Ontario. It's the craft beer center of Canada. There's like one on every block, pretty much. It's ridiculous.
I have it's complete random. It's not football related at all. But
yeah, go for it.
What do you think of? Or what do you think is Australia's national gift, or like food wise? What comes to mind for you?
Vegemite. Or is that
Vegemite? Interesting.
Yeah.
I like Vegemite.
Like a national. Oh my god!
Because we don't really have.
I was gonna say a curry, something seafood based. I don't know. Like seriously, I'm trying to like think of what My brother would say he would eat all the time, but he cooked for himself a lot.
Yeah. Like when people come,
They'll probably think Vegemite, yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't serve them a toasted Vegemite as let's go out for dinner. Toasted Vegemite.
Avocado on toast with a flat white coffee.
Maybe.
That might be it.
We take you out for breakfast, actually. We have a massive
Yeah.
coffee culture.
That surprised me. I didn't realize that until, because my brother was never a coffee drinker, and then suddenly he'll be like messaging me like, oh yeah, I'm just out getting my flat white or whatever. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, everyone in Australia is a coffee snob. They won't admit it, but they are.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
I'm proud about it. So I'm proud to show these people who are like, listen, this is a real coffee. See how they've done the milk? It's at the right temperature. See, like, this is a piccolo. I can't wait for those conversations.
I went to Spain thinking, oh, the coffee here is not going to be good. But I was pleasantly surprised. It was very good coffee in Spain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, no,
It was
no.
really good. It was like this really nice flavor in it. It was like sweet. It was delicious.
Okay. Well,
see, Michelle's been all over the place as well. Michelle went to Spain and Portugal for a couple of Matildas friendly. So that's how committed she was.
Amazing.
Very
Yeah. Well, I also wanted to go on a holiday. And they just made my decision easier.
Oh, the Matildas are playing in Spain and Portugal. Well,
Oh, I guess I'll have to go.
Oh, no, not that.
So look,
I was just gonna say, like, is there anything that you guys are not worried about, but like are like, we're not sure about this as hosts or as host supporters or
So many.
yes.
For me, it's back to that travel thing. I'm like, once we get down, like if Matildas get out of the knockout rounds, it's like I'm doing all the permutations. How do I get from this city to that city when everyone else do it at the same time? And also, and for the groups that are in New Zealand, I think for them it's like, yeah, they're going to have to be doing some big travel planning just because it is such a big country and all of it. Really far.
Is there are there concerns in terms of like COVID restrictions or things like that for all that travel? Or are you guys sort of not necessarily back to normal, but a little more?
Yeah, I mean, we've relaxed a bit more as well. So we don't really have any restrictions or anything.
But like New Zealand is as well. Is New Zealand actually reopened things again because they're hosting in a year?
Yeah, sure.
I would say, I don't know the ins and outs of that, but I think they're kind of like us. I think they're open to travel. I think you can go there freely now.
Okay. Because I know for a while you guys had opened and they hadn't, and that sort of thing.
They still have protests all the time, but I don't know what they're protesting. So.
No, same here. We don't know either.
We have protests here, and there's not really, like, it's like insanely, you're free to do whatever you want.
Yeah, you were free to do whatever you wanted before. We never knew what they were protesting. They just wanted to protest.
Yeah, all of our protesters just went and occupied Canberra. So
yeah, that's true. I do have a question for in terms of active. So I know that like we've kind of had conversations about this like briefly in Matildas Active and in my own club Active as well. But I guess, have you ever had issues and how have you overcome them with people who come in not knowing the culture and just kind of, you know, doing what they want to do? So I know in Canberra we had a bunch of kids come and they kept asking to do certain chants or whatever, and I went over and spoke to them and I was like, hey, just, you know, we're building something, just let it grow. And they were really receptive because they're children, so they're easier to talk to. But I guess, like, have you ever had these kinds of issues?
I feel like where it can be an issue, I think maybe Kristin might agree, is sometimes like when we come to Canada games, you know, every city has their already existing sort of supporter cultures, and sometimes there might be some clashes between, like, we kind of leave it to the local supporters to kind of lead things. And so maybe in some cities where there's different supporter groups, there might be some, you know, clashing and whatever. But for the most part, I think people just come in and they just follow the lead of, you know, if you've got like capos at the front kind of leading it and that are good and engaging, usually people just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, it's been, yeah, sort of like that's probably the only time we ever run into like things where there's a little bit of falter, when it is someone from a local supporters group. Because again, we joke that there's only 5 chants. There's probably more like 10 chants, but you know, each city's supporters group collective or whatever will have something very specific that's very specific to them, and they try to port that over into a Canada chant. And that's not I'm not knocking other cities. My city does it too. Like people joke about the fact that, oh look, it's another Toronto FC chant, and they're not wrong, because we have a specific person who is often involved in capital does this thing they do. But usually when you have the more recognizable chants, everyone's happy to participate in those. Anytime we've had any chants go sideways, or people trying to bring an energy that is negative or homophobic or something like that, like if we hear it, we do our very best to shut it down. Like I've had conversations with people in the stands. We've sent people to talk to people, that sort of thing. It doesn't happen that often, thankfully. And it's usually people who, like, we talk about wanting to welcome everybody, and we really do. We want people to come and support and be excited. But there are people who are just like, oh, it's a big party. Like they literally are there for the party. They're not there for anything that is happening in front of them. They just heard that this is like the cool, fun thing to do, and they're going to
by event for them, not
oh, completely. And so they're going to come in and they're going to be idiots, and they don't care regardless. And they're the ones, that's where the bad energy comes from. And those are the people that we are usually, occasionally you grab security. You're like, you know what? We don't even know that they're supposed to be in this section. Can you check their tickets? And we try not to gatekeep in that way, but when it's protecting other fans and the players on the pitch, but luckily it hasn't happened a lot. So usually we just try to find something common ground. Pre-game meetups are really important for stuff like that too. If you can arrange it, especially now that COVID restrictions have loosened in a lot of places, it's really great to be able to have the supporters from the different cities and the different like supporter areas come together and just be able to meet one another and like, okay, we're good.
And sometimes singing those songs in the pub before you get there gets everybody kind of
exactly.
Put a playlist with all songs that we based our songs on, and
yeah. Like, do you? So I have to know, because I know we have to go because we're still talking. But is there a waltzing Matilda chant?
Yeah,
yes.
we do that basically.
You're still doing it? I'm just checking because I would be sad if you didn't. Even though it's the most depressing song, but you might as well.
It's a song about stealing and then
and death. I know. I know. It's a horrible song for that, but so few people know that, at least outside of your country. They're just like, oh, this is perfect. And I'm like, no, but hilarious at the same time, because you've spun it and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Football support doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
It's just
oh no.
You know what I do wish was our anthem though, because I don't particularly enjoy our anthem. I wish we got to actually sing "I Am Australian" as our anthem, because that one actually feels more what we're about. Talking about
right,
and you are Australian. Like, we all clearly all from different backgrounds and cultures and things. So,
and Advanced Australia Fair is just a bit.
It's boring.
It's a bit boring.
It's a terrible song. It's a terrible song.
Terrible song.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And none of our players can sing, so it's always hilarious when the camera goes past them.
Yeah.
Do you have because there's always that break, right? Like rhythms and blah blah blah, and then there's that break before the match actually starts. Like if you handed song sheets out and said, "We're gonna sing this,"
yeah, so
and someone just started.
Yeah, that's generally when we do lots of Matilda, sort of, after
okay.
the initial walk out and stuff, and then we start that up.
Right.
Then we usually just get into kind of the generic ones after that, like.
Right.
No, sing louder.
Oh, that I like that one. That's good.
Anyway,
Stealing that. No, just kidding.
We'll be loud. We'll be ready. Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, it's been so great chatting to you guys. Maybe, given that we've got the 2 games coming up this weekend, how about we let in some predictions? Maybe who do you think from Canada might get on the score sheet? Maybe decide. Anyone but Kristin Sinclair?
Oh, damn. Fine. But I'm trying to think how many of our goal scorers are not there now because of injury, right? So not Christine Sinclair, not Allie, not Deanne.
Maybe a Julia Grosso goal. I could see a Julia.
I wouldn't mind a Julia Grosso goal. Jordan Hyden a goal would be nice to see. I doubt we'll see it, but I would love for her to get a goal. Shalene, you know what? I'm gonna say Shalina Zadorsky.
Okay, depended on. There we go.
She's been known to score a few for her club, so.
Well, I mean, we're big Claire Polkington fans, so we always love it when Claire Polkington gets on the end of the corner and kicks it in, and she's got the best celebration in the team. So
Defender goals are my absolute favorite.
Right? They're just so fun. It's just so great. It's like, yes, you get to do it all. Good for you.
Defender goals, they're the best.
Yeah.
So she's not coming.
Who? Sinclair? Sinclair's not. No.
Oh, I thought you said that she's not.
Oh, no. It was like, because you said anyone but Sinclair, and then a bunch of our attackers are injured. So.
That may do well for us then. Let's go. Injured player. Let's go.
Yeah, well, there's like 4 or 5 of them. And then Ashley Lawrence, which makes me sad because I love her. But it's actually what's kind of cool though. There's a few young players that are getting their first chance with the senior squad. And then my favorite ongoing story of all is Surayeka back with the team after so many years. It makes my heart so happy.
I was perplexed where she went. Like I never really understood where she was. Right, her and Kadisha were like this, and the 2 up and comers, and then all of a sudden it's just gone.
And suddenly she's gone. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah. No, it's gonna be. Oh gods.
I think we're happy to see Chloe Lagazzo back in the squad after being out with her ACL. Michelle's very happy.
Yeah.
So it's we've got Ellie Carpenter out, of course, but so having Chloe come back, exciting. Good. Hopefully she'll get a little bit of game. She's only just back, so I'm not sure how much game time she'll get, but it's great to see her back.
But probably a bit just to get used to the experience and get some fitness minutes. Are we predicting both matches or just the first one?
Well, let's go to series.
Oh God, the series? Dear lords.
I reckon the Matildas win in Sydney.
Okay.
I reckon they'll win in Sydney.
We're going to get them over the line.
Yeah, it'll be the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the stadium. The stadium's going to put it over the edge, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to go to Suncorp though and see a loss. Like I haven't been to our stadium in so long. I want to have a good.
I also don't want to have spent as much money as I have.
True. Tough because I think Canada are going to win.
I do too, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be like 2-1 kind of thing, or like I think both matches will be close.
I could even see a draw in one of those games.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it'd be a really good test for the Matildas because we've had some troubles with breaking things down, and Canada being such a strong, I think, defensive team. I think will be a good test for
it'll be interesting because we are so strong on defense, but we have really struggled to score.
Score, exactly.
We're opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what's going to make these matches so interesting is that, if you combine our 2 teams, we have one super team.
Yeah. Forward line of Kristin Sinclair and Sam Kerr.
Oh my god, that would be like,
unbeatable. Like,
it would
come on
probably
now.
be unfair. It would be unfair. They would not allow it.
Yeah, that's true. We could just play under the Commonwealth flag, right? Like, that's allowed, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, true.
Well, we'll let
that old thing.
New Zealanders in there.
Yeah.
Well, look,
Awesome.
thank you so much for your time, guys. It's been an absolute ball. Hope to see you down here next year. If not, I'm sure we'll
Meet online
online
again.
and do all that sort of stuff. So thank you so much, Nicky and Kristin, and of course Michelle in Sydney for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. This is great. And honestly, obviously more matches are coming. Happy to do again.
Yeah, definitely. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Come on, we won.